Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Exploring Marketing Research. Chapter number 6, Part 1, Exploratory Research and Qualitative Analysis. Learning objectives for this chapter are to understand the difference between qualitative research and quantitative research, to explain the purposes of exploratory research, to identify four general categories of exploratory research. Exploratory research serves as a source of developing ideas that are often subjected to further research investigation. For example, when we look at the example of Chrysler, exploratory research helped reduce some of risk of introducing a new unconventional vehicle in the ever-changing automobile industry. Thus, this chapter discusses the various exploratory research techniques used in marketing research. Exploratory research, what it is and what it is not. When a researcher has limited amount of experience with or knowledge about a research issue, exploratory research is a useful preliminary step. It helps ensure that more rigorous, conclusive future study will not begin with an inadequate understanding of the nature of the marketing problem. Exploratory research. We can define the exploratory research further as it is an initial research that is conducted to clarify and define the nature of a problem. Exploratory research does not provide conclusive evidence. In the exploratory research, subsequent research is expected and we have to do subsequent research to solve the problem. Qualitative versus quantitative research. Exploratory research designs provide qualitative data. Usually, exploratory research provides greater understanding of a concept or crystallizes a problem rather than providing precise measurement or quantification. So, the purpose of qualitative research qualitative is to do exploratory versus descriptive and conclusive. So if we compare the qualitative research with quantitative research, we can see the purpose of qualitative research when we can see that the other quantitative research type has to do descriptive and conclusive evidence. In qualitative research, we have small samples, but in quantitative research, we can have large samples. So broad range of questioning versus structured questions. So in qualitative research, researcher will have a broad range of questioning, while in quantitative research, researcher will have a structured question. In qualitative research, subjective interpretation is provided while statistical analysis is conducted in quantitative research. What is exploratory research? Further, we can explain what is exploratory research. Exploratory research designs provide qualitative data. So usually exploratory research provides greater understanding of a concept or crystallizes a problem rather than providing precise measurement or quantification. So in exploratory research, we do have qualitative data. Why conduct exploratory research? Researchers conduct exploratory research for three interrelated purposes. Number one, diagnosing a situation. Number two, screening alternatives. And number three, discovering new ideas. These are the three main purposes for which a researcher has to conduct exploratory research. Why conduct exploratory research? Let's talk about first diagnosing a situation. Exploratory research helps diagnose the dimension of problems so that successive research projects will be on target. It helps set priorities for research. For example, when an advertising agency got an account for a new coffee containing chicory, the firm began the research process with exploratory research to diagnose the situation. The researchers learned that nobody had heard of the chicory. It wasn't being used and nobody seemed to know how to use it. This led to the hypothesis that advertising could portray the chicory ingredient any way the client wanted. Why conduct exploratory research? The second option or the second reason, that is screening alternatives. When several opportunities such as new product ideas arise at once, but budgets don't allow trying all possible options, exploratory research may be used to determine the best alternatives. And the third reason for which we have to use exploratory research, that is concept testing. Concept testing is a frequent reason for conducting exploratory research. Concept testing is a general term for many different research procedures, all of which have the same purpose. Exploratory research procedure that tests some sorts of stimulus as a proxy for an idea about a new, revised, or repositioned product. Why conduct exploratory research? Discover new idea. Marketers often conduct exploratory research to generate ideas for new products, advertising copy, and so on. For example, automobile marketers have consumers design their dream car using computerized design systems like those used by automotive designers. This exploratory research might generate ideas that would never have occurred to the firm's own designers. Categories of exploratory research. There are 4 categories of exploratory research: experience surveys, secondary data analysis, case studies, and pilot studies. Experience surveys. Researcher can ask knowledgeable individuals about a particular research problem. Most are quite willing to answer your questions. For example, a firm that is ready to launch a new product may discuss the general nature of the product with some of its key retailers and wholesalers. Member of the company's sales force also may be a valuable source of information. So experience surveys means researcher can ask from the experienced person about that particular problem for which that researcher is doing the exploratory research. If you wish to know the road up the mountain, you must ask the man who goes back and forth on it. Secondary data analysis. Another economical and quick source of background information is trade literature. Searching through such material is exploratory research with secondary data. Basic theoretical research rarely is conducted without extensive reviews of literature or reviews of similar research reports. So, marketing managers often conduct situation analysis using experience surveys and secondary data studies without a need for assistance from marketing research specialists. Case study method. The purpose of case study method is to obtain information from one or a few situations that are like the researcher's problem situation. For example, a bank in Lahore may intensively investigate the marketing activities of an innovative bank in Karachi. Conducting a case study often requires the cooperation of the party whose history is being studied. Pilot study. Pilot study is a collective term for any small-scale exploratory research project that uses sampling but does not apply rigorous standards. For example, the chairperson of a major car rental company occasionally gets in line with airport customers waiting for cars or works behind the counter to get customer reactions. This form of pilot study may yield true comprehension of the situation to be investigated. Pilot studies. We can conduct pilot studies with focus group interviews with the help of projective techniques and in-depth interviews. So in the part 2 of this chapter, I will start from the focus group interviews. And thank you. That's all for part 1.